Welcome to our Python tutorials where we will be taking on one topic at a time and trying to explain it as specifically as we can in as quick a time as we can to maximize your output. Today's focus will be on the print statement. Okay, so the print statement, very basic statement for getting output, sets up pretty simply. We say the word print, okay, and you'll notice that it kind of changes color on me a little bit depending on your IDE. Now the most basic functionality of the print statement is to have a string as an argument, in which then it would print it to the console. So the very first thing I'm going to do is hello world. And as I come out of this and were to run this particular example, you'll see down here that it prints very, very nicely. Hello world in the console. Another quick use of the print statement, if you want quotation marks to show up within what you're trying to print, you can do that very easily by making sure that you wrap those quotation marks that you'd like to see in the opposite version of the quotation marks that you'd like to see. So if I did something like my name Brandon, the teach, Perskevich, and making sure that the teach is in single quotes while the outer string, the full string, is inside the double quotes, the single quotes will print appropriately, so you can start to see it's the teach is in quotation marks. If I did want to get double quotes to print and I change those simply to double quotes, you're going to notice right off the bat that this is just not going to work, because I have a set of quotes here that open and a set of quotes here that close, and then open again and then close, which means that this particular string that I have, the teach, is no longer encapsulated within quotation marks. So if I do want double quotes to print, I would have to wrap it in single quotes. Python does not distinguish between double quotes and single quotes as being anything different from each other. So if I were to run this, you're going to see that the teach is now wrapped in double quotes. So it's pretty simple to work with. Okay. Now, one other way to use the print statement is to not put any argument in whatsoever. I can simply write the words print and put nothing inside. And you'll notice that it does do something, it just doesn't print anything to the console other than a simple return character. So what you'll notice now between the two lines is a blank line in between, because I've asked it to print, but it didn't print any characters. So it just actually moved the cursor down a line and then started printing out this particular thing. So what this will do is just print a blank line of text. And what we said here, this is printing quotes. Okay. Another useful feature of the print statement is if you need to print out a statement along with the value of maybe some sort of variable. Let's say I've got a variable called favorite number, and my favorite number happens to be 17. Okay. Now I want to print out that number. Print my favorite number is, right? And then what I'd like to do is make sure that if this variable were to change value in any way, it's always reflected in this print statement. So I can go comma favorite num. And if I run this now, you're going to see that it will not only print the string appropriately, my favorite number is, and then 17, but if I were to change this value to say 35 or anything like that, the print statement is also going to change, so you can kind of see that it changes along with it. And you can have these in any order that you want. Separating things with commas is a very common behavior. If instead of the word my, I wanted to make it some arbitrary person, I could say name is equal to Brandon. And instead of, again, the word my, I take that out and I put in name, comma, favorite number is, and then favorite number, and you can see how it's changed the output a little bit here. And so you can separate all sorts of information with commas, from variables to strings to even numbers, as long as it's something valid for a print statement. Right? Now there are other couple little extra special characters that you need to be aware of. We call them escape sequences. So what I can do is print in special characters that will do special things for me. For instance, I can say Here is a new line sequence, and I can type in a /n, and notice the slash is the / here, and you can start to see now this is a new line. And so if I run this, even though it's in a single print statement, it's actually going to print on 2 lines because this single character here tells it to move the cursor down 1. So here you're going to see that. Here is a new line sequence. This is on a new line. This character did not print at all, and there are many different escape sequences that you can work with. So you can see that there are some interesting things that you can do with the print statement. It's all pretty simple. It can get a little bit more complicated if we change the function here from a print to a printf, but we'll get to that all in due time. But for the basics of the print statement, this is all you really need to know. You can print simple strings, you can print blank lines, you can print quotes within quotes, you can print things that are referencing other pieces of information, variables that are holding on to numbers or strings, and then all you have to do is separate them with commas. One of the most valuable escape sequences is the /n, so feel free to use that anytime you need, or if you just need to print a couple line breaks in, you're more than welcome to do so as well. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. Thank you.